Hello, I'm here with three of our new teachers at the end of September. We've just finished all of our parent night, back to school nights, and it's a great time for us to stop and pause and focus on our faculty. I've heard from so many parents how thankful they are for the wonderful faculty that we have here at Trinity School, and I want you to meet three of our new teachers, just representatives of this wonderful faculty that we have. So would you all introduce yourselves? Chris?
I'm Chris Portwood, and I teach mathematics for the upper school. Currently, I'm teaching statistics and pre-calculus.
Great.
Ricky Oliver, I teach 7th grade U.S. history.
Excellent.
Shaun Thornton, I teach 4th grade.
All right, great. Well, I would love to hear how you heard about Trinity and what drew you to the school. Ricky, you want to go first?
Well, I used to work at Durham Nativity School, and of course, you all have a partner. Trinity, DNS has a partner, and I remember going to a few of the sporting events, the soccer games, basketball games, and I was very impressed with the school. Whole lot transpired in how I ended up from Durham Nativity School to here, but it was all God. But yeah, I love the partnership that Trinity has with other schools.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been a great partnership over the years with DNS.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we're so glad to have you here.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah. Shaun, what's your story?
Well, my best friend knew I was looking for a new position. I wanted to transfer out of the current school I was in. And she said, you really should try Trinity. And I was like, really? They have positions open, because it was so rare. And she said, absolutely. And after researching the school, reading the mission, I was like, this would be perfect for me. And so here I am, and I thank God for it.
That's great. Is there something in particular in the mission that really drew you?
Just the fact that this school, I like the fact about the classical education. I also like the doctrine of the school, the fact that it was a Christian school, that I didn't have to hide my light here, that my light could shine here. That really attracted me. And so I was quite pleased to get an opportunity to be here.
Oh, welcome. I'm glad
Thank
you're
you.
here.
So am I.
And Chris?
My next door neighbors were the former department chair and a mathematics teacher here. And often we'd see each other in the lawn, and they knew I was a math teacher, and they asked me to look at Trinity. They knew they were leaving and thought I might be a good fit. And I sort of said, thank you, I appreciate it, but wasn't as interested until I read the mission statement. Once I read the mission statement, I fell in love with what this place is. In particular, the unhurried curriculum. I felt like it really allowed students to dive deeper into the content. And the holistic view towards the student, that we're not educating just their minds, but we're educating their heart and what to do with their privilege and knowledge and talents after they leave here. It was just a no-brainer at that point. I thought I had to apply, and thankfully I'm here.
Well, we're glad you did. You're part of a new math team in the upper school, a wonderful new math team. Yeah, it's great. Could you tell us a little bit about your experience in other schools and how that has prepared you for your work here at Trinity? Shaun, what would you say?
I would say my experience with working with diverse learners helped me here. I have a wide range of learners in my classroom. The training experience in other disciplines such as reading, different strategies, learning how to be creative and allow students to do hands-on activities in order to dig deeper into the content. I think that helped a lot in what I do here.
That's great. Yeah, that's something we've been working on for some time now, so we're glad to have your skill set with that. So, Chris, what would you say? Tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, for the last 5 years, I've been teaching in a college environment to students who are first generation to college. So it was a really special moment for them, and they were excited in terms of the weight that was on their shoulders. At the same time, there were some background issues that I had to spend extra time with them to fill in some background, differentiate instruction for sure, see some people learn different ways than others. So I really was able to hone in on what type of learner a certain student was, and how to be sensitive to that is what I can bring to Trinity now. And it's in the collegiate environment, I don't get a chance to connect with the student as much as I do here when we see each other on a daily basis versus 2 or 3 times a week. And so I'm really excited to bring that here and get to know them more and see how I can help them learn from where they are and,
Yeah.
and feel their talents out.
I think about that promise that we make, that students will be known and loved, and
Yes.
you're learning what that means. Yeah, for
Deeply.
sure. Ricky, how about your story? You've had quite a rich background before you came
Right.
to Trinity. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm originally from Denver, Colorado, and I taught in Denver public schools. I was in middle school, high school, and then I got into administration and was a dean of students in Colorado Springs. And then we moved out here in North Carolina, and I was a school social worker and administrator at Durham Nativity School for quite a few years. And so now here I am at Trinity, and it's like, gosh, God is just doing an amazing work and just preparing me to minister wherever I am. And I know that the experience that I've had in all these other places, I'll be able to pour into the students here and the families as well.
You're returning to what you did early on to the classroom, and yet you
Sure.
bring all these experiences for the kids' social and emotional support and those kinds of things, which for middle schoolers are so important.
Absolutely. And one thing that I didn't mention is that, this is the first time teaching U.S. history, but last summer I started studying U.S. history, and I just had a love for it, and just how God opened the door and orchestrated for me to come to the school and start teaching U.S. history, and it's just been a joy.
Yeah, that's great. So I want to ask you new teachers to make an observation or two, if you will, about Trinity's culture, because school culture is such a interesting thing. It's the thing that we all swim in like water, and that we don't always notice what it is. And so you new teachers actually see things maybe more clearly than we do, or see things that we've taken for granted for some time. So I wonder what things you might have noticed about Trinity coming in that would be worth highlighting. Chris, what would you say?
Has to be the kindness of everyone here. It's just absolutely amazing. It shines so brightly, whether it's the students to each other or to me or to the other faculty and staff, and the faculty and staff to each other and to the students is just amazing. I mean, it's so welcoming. I feel like there's lots of room to grow, but at the same time, I'm already comfortable here with just the people I work with, the students, the faculty. It's just overwhelmingly kind. I would say they really are living out the doctrines of the mission of the school sincerely, and that's special, I think.
That's very encouraging to hear. It's something that we need to, as you say, always work on. We don't take it for granted, and we don't do it perfectly, and it's something that's fragile too.
It's fragile, right?
Yeah, so it takes a lot of attention and care to see that's maintained. Yeah. But Shaun, what would you say?
I would have to mirror what Chris said, but also add the respect as well. The respect that the students have for the adults in the building, the respects the adults have for one another, including the families, and how I feel respected as a professional, and that parents are willing to work with me to truly pour into their child. It's rare, and I've never had that much support in that area before, and it is so refreshing. And the students are just very respectful and very bright, and so I can tell that they are truly living the mission of this school, and so it has been a joy to experience that this past month.
That's great. Ricky?
Gosh, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Respect.
Respect, absolutely. And I've never heard so many thank yous from the students. That is just,
Yes, that's
thank you,
so
Miss
true.
Oliver, thank you. I'm like, whoa, you're welcome. So many and often, and I think they really mean it too.
I hope they do.
Yeah, me
that's
too.
good. Yeah. That's great. I wonder if any of you would care to comment about the collegiality among the faculty, what you've experienced with other faculty working together. Is that something you could talk about?
Oh yeah, I can speak directly with. First, to start with my teammate,
Yep.
Miss Moore, Caroline. She's fantastic. I'm always getting things, advice, guidance from her, but also from the other teachers that have been here for years. They always check in with me. So, Shaun, how you doing? Is there anything I can help you with? And that makes me feel special. That makes me feel as if I'm just not a small fish in the big sea. You know, that they're actually caring about me and take the time to come in and check on me and to say, well, yeah, well, this is how we do things, and just to help me along. So that's been really great. So I've never felt alone. I've never felt by myself. I've never felt that, I was swimming upstream. I've had support. I've always felt supported since day one. And so that has been great. Just to see them working together, even across grade levels, it's fantastic. So I know I can go to anyone, not just my grade level teammate, but anyone on my floor and ask a question, and I'll get assistance.
I love hearing that as a head of school, and it's that makes us all better teachers when we're working like
Absolutely.
that. Yeah, it's good. How about you guys?
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to Dr. Hall and Mr. Dix. They've helped me out so much, and the IT team. I mean, they're there and making sure I'm taken care of, and I'm really just impressed with the whole faculty. So everyone's just so intelligent and knowledgeable, and just like I just love just sitting back sometimes listening to the faculty.
Yeah. It's good to hear these stories across divisions. We've got lower school, middle school, and upper school, and each division has its own culture. And I hope there's a uniformity of Trinity culture, or one Trinity, but the middle school is a place of its own, and lower school and upper school as well.
Absolutely. I'd say that the environment in the upper school is shared across the disciplines. I mean, we have the humanities and the sciences working together to come up with new ways to cross-pollinate our subjects. And to describe the upper school culture among the faculty, I would say it's very inquiry-based. It's how can we work together to make the students come to the questions that are meaningful to them, and then therefore use the material we're trying to teach them. I've been invited to come sit in on classes over and over, whether it's in a literature class, a theology class, or another math class, which is very helpful to see how we're supposed to interact and what we can do and what the students might do in certain situations. Another thing that's been very helpful is the teacher mentoring program. So as new teachers, we're all assigned like a big sister, big brother kind of thing. And mine has been very helpful as just the first go-to person of like, do I need to wear a coat today, or is it okay to just wear a tie? I mean, any question from deep to shallow, they've been there, and it's been a really friendly, welcoming environment.
That's great. One of the things it would be true of the middle school and upper school, not so much the lower school, but most teachers share rooms with another faculty. I know each of you does, right? And that over time, you end up learning from each other. I don't know if you've experienced that already.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Mr. Dick is like a guru in U.S. history, and it's just fun. I'm doing work, but I'm listening to his lesson, and it's just like, wow, what an amazing man. Yeah.
Yeah, over the years, I've really come to appreciate that. In some ways, it's a downside when we first had to do that, and people are like, I have to share a room. But then I started hearing stories about teachers learning from one another in the ways you're talking about. Well, I wonder if we could close maybe with just a story that maybe you could tell of your first month here, and just something that comes to mind and is illustrative of your time here.
What
Shaun?
comes to mind for me? A parent introduced herself to me, and I didn't recognize her name. So I asked, is your child in the other fourth grade class? She said, oh, no, my child's in second grade, but we're all family here, so I wanted to meet you. And she gave me a hug. That spoke volumes to me, and it just made my month, actually, because it let me know that it's not just about me being in that corner room. This truly is a family here at Trinity.
It's a great story. Yeah. Chris?
Well, one thing I got to do as an upper school faculty was go on the senior trip, where we took 4 days, 3 nights, and one of the in the mountains, and just got to know each other before the whole teacher-student relationship began. We just were as people, as Trinity members, and part of the responsibility of the seniors on that trip was to come up with the school verse for the year, and to see the passion and the debate that went into the discussion and decision ultimately of what the school verse that really would sort of lead the school in its mentality throughout the year was very impressive. So before we even began classes, at the beginning of the month, I was just floored by how serious and passionate they were about choosing that school verse as a part of them and as a part of the whole school for the year.
And I had the privilege of coming up and being with the seniors as they did that, so that was wonderful. Yeah, you and I got to share a cabin together, and I hope I didn't snore too badly.
No, I hope I didn't too.
And Ricky, how about you?
I think I have two. They're short though. In the classroom, starting to use that technology, and sure enough, had a glitch with a quiz that they were taking. It was so jacked up. But the students were so awesome. They were helping me out. They were teaching me how to do all these different things. So I was like, thank you. They were very patient, so I appreciated that. The other was the faculty retreat that we went on. That, I have to say, that was very touching, where we spent time in worshiping the Lord and went off on our own to spend time with the Lord, came back and just prayed. That touched me. That had an incredible impact on me.
Yeah, that was the Friday before school started, and we went out to Aqueduct Retreat Center and had that time together. That's a Trinity tradition, and I'm glad to hear that it was meaningful. And it's great.
It was fantastic.
Well, I just want to thank you for being part of the Trinity family and for bringing us your gifts and your passions, and thank you for serving students and helping Trinity honor the promise that we make to parents to know and love each student. So I hope that your
Thank
first
you.
year is wonderful, and thanks for joining me here today.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
All right.